So I'm in a rut. I wake up, look at photos of attractive women, and before I know it, it's already noon. I skip everything important. I feel like shit, and I tell myself I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow looks exactly the same. Most self-improvement videos give the same generic advice. Wake up early, take cold showers, just be disciplined. But if it were that easy, nobody would be stuck in a rut in the first place. So I started looking at people who've mastered self-discipline for centuries. Monks. I found that their approach wasn't about just trying harder or just doing it. It's about flipping a mental switch to snap out of laziness and to take action effortlessly. I tried it once, and within literal seconds, my body moved even before my brain had a chance to make excuses. And since then, I've never fallen into a rut ever again. This first step is by far the most important, but it's also the most overlooked. Now, for the duration of this video, you're a time traveler, but not the cool kind who gets to fight dinosaurs or flirt with Cleopatra. No, you're stuck in a much darker mission, saving your future self from self-destruction. The real genius of time travel isn't changing the past, it's controlling the future. That's why your job is to become a master strategist for future you. Instead of just grinding or improving in a mindless way, you need to leave behind weapons to stop your future self from falling in the same traps. Think of it like building a bunker before war starts, or hiding extra ammo for when you're weak. And one way to do this when it pertains to ruts is to understand something that I call. And there are 4 stages of the rut cycle: pain, improvement, pride, and comfort. Now, the rut cycle begins with pain. I'm on social media, I'm scrolling for 10 hours a day, and I just can't handle it anymore. After pain comes improvement. I'm tired, I'm sick of what I'm doing, and now I'm going to improve and start busting out push-ups, start running, start doing some random tasks that will improve my life. But the more that I improve, the more that I think of stagnation. I did 3 hours of work today, maybe I can rest for 5. And this feeling of elatement, this feeling of excitement, this feeling of being up in the air, the honeymoon stage after the improvement, is called pride. And this comfort becomes the breathing ground for pain again. And this cycle repeats over and over again forever until you can break out of it. Now, according to the teachings of the Buddha, the ancient texts of the monks, the way to solve this is by using the cycle of right effort, right view, and right mindfulness and concentration. Or in simple terms, improvement, humility, and discipline. Just 3. We don't need any more. So whenever I'm improving and improving and improving and pride starts to arise, I smile at it like the Buddha and just observe it deeply. And I remind myself to stay humble. When it gets harder and harder and harder, I use discipline, which pushes me to new heights. This way, I have the infinite power to snap out of it and to redirect myself back to the humility. Now, with that being said, I used to let my future self suffer in silence, and I forced him to make the same mistakes over and over again. But there's one way to break the cycle, and it's simpler than you think. Now, as time travelers, let's travel forward to check on future us. With the information that maybe you've learned in this video, you expect to see a disciplined, ravaging, compassionate beast, right? So let's see. Let's go to the future right now and see what happens. Instead, you find your future self lying on the couch, 30 pounds heavier, binge watching Netflix and drowning in self-hatred. One man can only ask one question: why? You did overcome that rut using the cycle by breaking out of the cycle that I just talked about earlier, but you didn't prevent future ruts, did you? And so one thing that contributed greatly to my success and my fast improvement is by preparing for future ruts before they even come. First of all, ruts start with an emotion. And Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh says this really wonderful quote. And he says, an emotion is like a storm, and you feel that it's coming. And if you notice that the strong emotion is coming, you prepare yourself in order to receive it and to handle it. And to prepare for ruts, I listed all of the scenarios that could possibly happen that would make me fall into a rut. For example, holidays, lazy days, travel, afternoon slump, sick days, maybe waking up late. And for each of these scenarios, I wrote a 5 to 10 paragraph essay as a sales pitch letter from my present self to my future self, trying to convince him to either prepare for a rut to happen or to finally get out of the rut and take action. You guide your future self as if you were speaking to your own friend and you were convincing your friend to do this certain thing or to not partake in this certain bad habit. And so whenever I'm sick or whenever I woke up late, even if I'm not in a rut, I still read that letter to prepare for what if that rut might happen. Antoniop says, the best way to take care of our future is to take care of the present moment. But there's one more habit that every successful time traveler uses to manipulate their own destiny. And out of all of these habits, it's the most important one. First of all, welcome to the unfiltered section. If you're still watching this, I congratulate you. You have top 1% attention span. I bet so many people have already clicked off, but you're still here. So let's talk about some real shit now. Alright, time traveler, we're doing well so far. But now, in the story, you're trapped in an endless loop of failure. Something is going wrong with the time travel and you rage, you complain, and you quit, instead of analyzing what went wrong and fixing it. And so what happens? You keep reliving the same downfall over and over and over again. And the same thing honestly happens with ruts, bro. We'll fall into a rut over and over again. But if we don't know how to accept failure and use it as an opportunity for growth, we'll be stuck in the same downfall. By the way, here's a toast, here's a cup of water for you, so you can drink it whenever you want. Now, if you're familiar with maybe crypto or trading charts, that's basically what life is. It has ups, it has downs, it has lows, it has highs. And so we know that failure will happen inevitably. But instead of a mind that crumbles during failure, we want to reframe our mindset and cultivate a robust mind that gets stronger and stronger after each failure. If the Buddha reached enlightenment, it was because he suffered deeply and had many failures. Without those many failures, he wouldn't have reached enlightenment and had the desire to help millions and millions of people. And a lot of people in the modern day, they only see the surface. You know, it's like our teachers, they look at our grades and they say, oh, you got a F minus, now we're going to get angry at you. Or let's say our family members, our Asian family parents, they look at our grades and they immediately say, and instead of saying, hey, try better next time, they condemn us, they give us punishments for getting an F minus. And this really carves inside of us the fact that failure is bad. What appears as a loss today is often the very thing that shapes us into the person who we are meant to become. So every rut and every mistake is simply a time machine log. Use it to figure out what went wrong, adjust. Smart time travelers use every past mistake as a way to fuel the future. And so the next time you fall into a rut, you can ask, what was the exact moment that I fumbled? How do I time travel back and fix this before it happens again? And as a bonus step, don't even call your rut a rut. It just is. And with that, you reframe your mindset for a rut being a negative or something that you want to avoid. So that's how I actually overcome ruts as a teenager. But everything that I've just shared in this video is completely useless if it isn't put into right action. So if you want to actually take action, click on the first link in the description right now for guaranteed accountability in our free Discord server. As always, live in the now, drink your water because tomorrow may never come. Bye-bye. Okay, so you're not drinking it, I'll just get it myself.